The overlaid age is back and I was unable to be more energized. The ensembles are considerably more excessive. The set plan is significantly more flawless. Acting is vastly improved. It appears they took illustrations from season 1 and worked on the show in each perspective. Flawlessness. I need to separate this video into a couple of segments to discuss every storyline, and afterward I'll go into the consummation and make sense of what it will mean for the accompanying episodes. How about we start with the Sovereign of New York? As I told you previously, the episode opened on Easter morning with New York's best families preparing to go to the Easter help. Bertha recently discovered that her solicitation for a container at the Foundation of Music was dismissed. The cases at the foundation are a couple and are constrained by the privileged few. Makes the new sit tight in line for I don't have the foggiest idea how long. Obviously Bertha is eager. She needs to have everything now, not in a couple of months, not in a year, on the money when she needs it. All through the episode we see her beginning a conflict against the Institute and supporting the Metropolitan show. She even facilitated supper with visitors who upheld the progress of this new drama. Mrs. Astor was angry because when she was forced to attend another event unwillingly, Bertha backed her into a corner yet again. She didn't know the dinner would have guests that openly supported the men, but she didn't leave to avoid scandal. 2. She was surprised to see the support of the new opera. She learned that even the Academy's favorite opera singer would now sing in the new opera house. She felt like she was betrayed. The final blow came when that singer appeared at Bertha's house singing for all the guests. The scene, the flowers, the singing, Mrs. Astor's face, everything was incredible. I have only one complaint. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. I don't want to see Mrs. Astor as an opponent that could be defeated so easily. You need to see more of her influence on display. She's supposed to be this top tier of the New York elite, right? Give her more power, more menace, or else she will be just another boring antagonist. I want to see her as a formidable adversary. Let me know if that makes sense. Since we saw Peggy would be back in New York in the trailers already, I assumed she wouldn't return with her son, but I have to admit I didn't expect the child to be dead at the age of 3. That was such a heartbreaking storyline. One part of me wished this child's storyline was never included because I always wanted to see Peggy's independent journey. I am relieved to see that she's leaving all that behind and focusing on what's ahead, but for a minute I thought they were depicting the child's father too kindly. I want Peggy to be with Mr. Fortune, although I know the real Thomas Fortune was married during the events of the Gilded Age. Let's hope the show changes that. To me, Peggy's storyline highlighted a big difference between the two sides of the story. Look at how Peggy and her family are suffering from real-life problems and tragedies like dying from scarlet fever and losing a loved one. Peggy and the ones close to her were old black clothes to signify mourning, while the white families were playing with toys and focusing on things like opera, wearing extravagantly colorful clothes. I thought this contrast was well portrayed. It's funny how for a young woman to teach watercolor at a Catholic school is deemed unacceptable by Agnes. Honestly, when Marian talked about a secret, I expected something more surprising or dangerous, but I also understand where this is coming from. For Marian to work no matter the cause makes Agnes and the rest of the family look like they need the money. Working just to spend time doing something was not seen as a proper thing to do for a young lady at that time. I can't even imagine how. I mean, I knew George was a rubber baron. I also knew he would be a rubber baron who would act like a rubber baron, but after seeing him as such a good husband and father in season 1, I didn't expect to see him as a villain. Looks like he will be on the ruthless side when it comes to the conflict. I talked about standing against the workers who ask for 8 hours workday. What an absurd request, right? The episode also showed Oscar finally seriously opening up to Gladys about his desire to get married. This happened after he was beaten by a man in a bar. He decided he needed to leave the life of homosexuality behind and be a family man. This storyline showed the hardships of being a closeted gay man during the Gilded Age. Although he acts like he will be good at lying to himself, it will be quite challenging. I was more shocked to see the reaction of Gladys. I get me started on Jack and Miss Weber and Bridget's jealousy. I wish we only saw the upstairs people there. I've said it, I touched upon it briefly, but let me go over it again. Bertha having that opera singer at her house was a massive win for her and quite a loss for Mrs. Astor and the Academy. Of music it showed Mrs. Astor that money could change everything in New York. Now there would be no loyalty once money was involved. I saw a glimpse of revenge on her face at the end, so I am assuming she will try to sabotage the Met or any other thing that Bertha does. That's it everyone, I hope you enjoyed my recap and analysis. Did you like the episode? What are your comments about this storyline? Tell me in the section below. Don't forget to like and share this video, subscribe to Movie Review for more videos like this, and see you soon.